Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master today. Actually, I won't be. I'll be your friendly Grim Master today. As you see, today we're carrying on with our ongoing campaign, Fears of the Faceless, playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd Edition from Green Ronin Studios. And with me today are the stars of the Fears of the Faceless campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what did you spend your last advancement on? First up, we've got Carl.
I play Gorilla Blacktooth. He is a gambler. He is a dwarf. And he spent his last advancement on adding another wound point because he probably going to get hurt.
Yeah, good stuff. Are you at 13 right now? Is that right?
Yeah, 14 actually. It should
14.
be 14.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if this is...
I guess I got to put it... Yeah, I don't know why I didn't...
It might be because you're current. Let's see. It's saying current.
Current?
Oh, I'm on the wrong character sheet.
Let me check that.
Because it may not auto-update. Yeah, current wounds, max
Current
wounds.
says 14.
I mean, I think that's the way it's... possible it's the way it's supposed to look, that the base just stays base. And when you
There
add
it is. Now it changed.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Next up is Mo.
Hi, I'm Morris. I'm playing Oderic, who is a noble. And he spent his last upgrade on Fellowship, which is the oratory stroke putting peasants and sergeants in their places.
Good. Getting time to work that silver tongue of his before he has a rope around his neck as a bandit.
That's right.
And last but certainly not least is Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm playing Jacob Silvercobble. He is a former halfling field warden, and last advancement was on agility characteristic.
Excellent. All right, then, guys, and we will have one other player joining us a little later. But what happened last time, guys? I'll give you a small visual cue.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
That's right. Yeah, it's always challenging to remember where the last session started. So yeah, so we started in that building in the basement, where there was a cell or something that was used to being keeping a bunch of folks, kind of peasant folk from a different town that had been herded in there from
Serac.
Yes, and so and we were led there by the mutants, by the mutant corpses, and then we followed their tracks back to the basement of this house, the room that you could probably see if you looked in that little grill at the bottom there. And we rescued them, went through the house, and we decided to take them home, to escort them to their while kind of investigating of what was going on, because we found a small chest of goblets, of tavern goblets, that had the logos of taverns, and so we wanted to follow up on that while we were taking them back.
When we were talking about, interrupt for a moment here, when we were talking about that last time, I mentioned how like people my parents' age, they would steal the glass mugs from A&W. Well, A&W had a special on this week.
Nice.
Where you could order a glass mug along with your food. And I'm like, all right, well, I gotta have that for the next session.
That's cool. Old school. I like it. And so we set out. We set out and we got. I think did we get there without obstacle? I think we did. Am I wrong?
Yeah, we
about
had
that?
one stopover and it was pretty easygoing.
I can't believe that you have so quickly forgotten your time with the brass
pig. Yeah. Oh, no question. I mean, he's about to jump across it. He's going to ride it eventually, if someone will lift him up high enough. But in any case, yeah. So we went to a tavern and had a pretty good time. Particularly Jacob with that brass pig hanging over the bar, and then we I think we probably met some people there, and then then we got to we got to our destination where the Lord quickly appeared with guards and was all kinds of official hostile to us, and we ended there where he was naming us all sorts of
That was Lord Angeron.
Yes.
But he also seemed to have been neglecting his duty to look after the peasants.
Yes.
Which we did have a discussion about. One of the duties of a noble is to do that.
Yes.
Even if they are there in the mud.
Yeah. So I'll move
watched
these.
the Constitutional Peasants Monty Python script to get in the mood for this.
So there is Serac. Now the only difference here is that the wood structures obviously is not correct because of the sumptuary laws in place in Bretonia, where our campaign takes place. So they are mud and wattle huts, which is like sticks and mud and whatnot, all, manure stuff, kind of all crammed together to create these clay-like walls. And even in that case, they're falling apart. They're in quite bad shape. There's that sad little village green in the center of the town, and that's when Lord Angeron and his men-at-arms showed up. Not with orc heads in their hands, but I thought this was finding a picture of a halberdier, and I know it's not a halberd, but finding pictures of a halberdier where they're not wearing metal armor. I think I still failed here. Now that I look, I thought it was padded armor, but I realized it's padded on top of a chain. It looks like it's quite challenging, unless you just want to use pictures of miniatures. There's a shit ton of pictures of miniatures.
Interesting.
But in any event,
like Brigadine might be a bit more period.
The what do you call it? Well, I mean, it's the old world, so like, it's if we're going to take issue with the historical accuracy of it, you may want to have an issue with the
I mean, they have steam tanks, right?
Exactly. Okay, so where we left things. I need to quickly go grab my DM screens because I forgot to grab them before the session. We saw our resident noble try and shame the lord into a duel. How did that go, Mo?
Well, I don't think did I call him for the duel yet, or was that the plan? But basically I said he's not doing his job, and why are all these people disappearing? Because what we found that were the
I don't remember it that way. Do you guys remember it that way? I remember a duel, a challenge to a duel.
Oh, well.
I think so. I'm going to take your word for it. But yeah, something like that.
Well, yeah, effectively, the trial by combat, if he's calling us bandits, that's... if another noble calls someone like that, that's fighting words.
How dare you, sir?
What a beautiful, idealized world you live in, Orderic.
Well, yeah, he's still a bit... he's still in love with romance, the whole chivalric thing. Mm-hmm. He maybe doesn't have to deal with the reality as much. But yeah, he still does believe that noble's place is to rule and it's to look after people.
Okay. Now,
not that they should have any senseless hopes and dreams of democracy or anything like that.
Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back with my DM screen.
Yeah, so I think that's left it where he just called for us to be hung.
Hey, Sean, I sent I got an access denied, but I sent a request for the Google.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Glad you mentioned that. I thought it was just going to let anyone in, but let me fix that. Let's see.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so then, fellers, I believe we have what the kids are calling a scrap coming on here.
Right.
So allow me to swap out. Let's see here. Where is? Do I have fighty music here? Let's see. What is this? Yep, that sounds like some fighty music. That's not so loud it's going to overpower you guys. Great. So then, let's see. let's roll some initiative, guys. So I think if you click on your token, you should be able to add that. I'm going to add another halberdier down at the bottom here, and just use that for my token tracker. So it may not shock you to learn that what's his name will not be participating in this fracas.
Arlen? Who?
Okay. The Lord Angeron.
Oh, Langeron.
Yeah. Okay. And on a 40. All right. All right. Do I have everyone in there? Who am I missing? Ordric, I need you to roll initiative.
Right.
And yeah, you may need to click on your token first, too.
Yep. There we are.
Okay.
No additional dice or modifiers, presumably?
Correct. All right. So then, Descendine, we have Jacob. So let's set the scene here. We're going to do this theater of the mind just because I don't really care to set out an actual battle map for this. Gariel is riding in the wagon or had been riding in the wagon. I'm not sure if he got out to go and talk to any of the crowd of peasants that came up. Jacob, you were on your pony. Ordric, you had dismounted and approached Lord Angeron, so you are about like maybe 2 or 3 meters away from where all of them are. Jacob, if you are on your pony and in line with the wagon, you guys are probably, let's say, about 6 meters back from that.
From the
from where Ordric is standing. Okay, and then you do not need to read anything in or you don't need to determine what the intent of these men-at-arms are. They are advancing with their halberds ready to go.
And Jacob's going first, right?
Jacob's up first. Yeah. What does Jacob want to do?
Jacob looks at this. So Orderic, he's heard Orderic challenge the Lord to a duel, right? That's the last thing that occurred.
He said a trial by combat, and the Lord just shakes his hand and says, "Hang all of these bandits."
I think he's going to. You can. It costs. Let's see. I think it costs a half action to hold action. Is that? I think
to ready an action.
I think so. Right.
Delaying is a half action. You want to see what happens and wait for an opportunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna delay. I'm gonna delay.
Okay, so you got a half action you can use later.
Yep.
Then it is Gariel. What are you doing, Gariel?
How does it work since they haven't acted? Can you advance upon these guys, or
or do
they get like a reach or attack?
No. So the way that halberds work, there isn't like an attack of opportunity from a reach going in. The reason that halberds are pretty badass is you have like 2 different sets, depending on how you're using it. You have 2 different sets of advantages you can use. They can be used to sort of like stab, where they are fast, and meaning you get minus 10% to any parries or dodges to try and avoid the attack, or they can be used to chop. And they are then have their impact, and they have slow, which means I roll 2d10 for damage and take the highest, and you have plus 10% to parry or dodge because it's just a slower moving thing.
Okay.
Other than that,
I'm gonna close with the guy, one of the guys on the end.
What's your move?
My move. Where is that? Under combat. Movement.
It's a second set of stats. M next to your toughness bonus.
3.
A 3. Okay, so you can move 3. Let's see here. Short move. So if your move characteristic is a 3, that means you can a move action will be 6 yards. I keep saying meters because I was reading a Canadian written RPG.
Are they within that amount? Or?
That I think that the 6 would bring you up to in line with where Orderic is. That's a half action.
Okay. I want to attack one on the end if that's too long, because I don't want to get caught up in the middle.
Absolutely. So what you could do is
like one of these guys or that guy. I mean, if they're in a line.
So if you're going to run, there isn't really a there's a charge attack, full action. And you get plus 10% on your bonus. It means that you're not going to have any defense.
Yeah, I'd rather
try and get him. Yeah. So you rush up to an opponent and deal it.
Okay, I could try. Might end badly. I mean, I wanted to save a half action for parry, but if that's the only choice.
Your charge move is 12.
Wow.
So you can easily get to this guy. You'll leap out and run down.
I wonder what let's see. Combat is not. All right, so I guess it'd be weapons, I guess.
Yeah, so it'd be plus 10% if you're going to race up to this guy. Plus 10% to your move.
Okay. So I'm going to chop with the hand axe, see what happens.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Okay, nice.
That's a
good one, yeah.
To the right arm.
Okay, so let's see here. Now, because this guy does not have dodge, and this guy does not have an action readied yet, you come racing up and sort of like, he's shocked by how fast this guy gets in. That's 9 points of damage. Oh wait, is damage modifier from the hit location?
I don't know.
It's from the weapon, isn't it?
The weapon, yeah. It's. I think it's strength bonus.
Yeah.
Plus
3? Right. Okay, yeah, that great. All right, so you bury this
3.
axe of your parents into his arm, and okay, so 1 point of armor in there, and his toughness is 3, so 4. All right, so 5 points of damage. Wow, and that's a nice, good hit. He's shocked by how fast this little dwarf got in there. Next up will be the halberdiers. All right, so then the halberdier that you're facing, Gareel, is going to... let's see here. He's going to attack, and then he's also going to take a parrying stance.
Okay.
So he can try and defend himself. We'll get his attack done first here. That is a miss. Swings at you, and you're able to easily avoid it. They're using fast right now. They're trying to stab you. Another one's going to come up the side and try and get you.
Is Jacob going to do anything, or he's going to leave Gareel hanging, I guess?
I guess this.
You can interrupt any one of these guys if you choose to.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I've left myself too much. I was hoping for something different. All I can do now with my half action is get out my sling, I'm afraid.
Okay. Shit, we're doing this.
Yeah, you can imagine he
said they're gonna capture us to hang us. What's the alternative? Right?
I was hoping that Audric's play, would possibly.
But it didn't.
No, I understand. But I was
the guy dismissed him.
I understand. Yep.
Okay, so now because there's 2 of them on you, you're outnumbered. That is actually a hit.
Okay.
And you don't have any. What do you call it? You don't have a parried action ready, right?
Nope.
Okay, so
I had to charge him.
Now, what you can do though, if you choose, I believe you can spend a fortune point.
Fortune point to dodge, or
fortune point to gain an extra parry or dodge.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I got them to spare.
4. So go right ahead and make your parry check. You have.
It's just a weapon check, right?
Yeah, no? You get plus 10% to this.
Got it.
Because this guy was trying to chop you.
Right.
give us a parry check.
Oh, no.
Gonna spend another fortune point to try and re-roll that, or?
No, we'll see how it goes.
How it goes? Okay, so then...
Maybe a short session if it gets cut down, right?
Most definitely. Now, the one thing I did not...
I got wounds, so... And...
Here we go.
I do have a leather jerkin.
Bonus +3. Okay, so let's see here. Which is this? Hey, that is 9 plus 10, 13 points of damage, and your armor will protect you.
Okay, so how much is it? Leather jerkins, that's 9 points.
Leather jerkin is 1 point. And so okay, 1 plus whatever your toughness is. Your toughness bonus.
All right. He's almost dead.
Yeah, shit, so that's a big
9
hit.
9 points of damage, I mean. Yeah.
Okay, then we've got one coming up on Orderic. Let's see here. He is going to try and stab right now to give you a penalty to your defenses. Oop. That's a hit. It's rolled a 1. So, Orderic, do you want to spend a fortune point to try and parry?
Yes, I will do.
Okay. Go ahead. You get minus 10%, unfortunately, because of the stab.
Yeah, hang on. That's a skill, isn't it?
You should be able to click on your weapon, I think, as well.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
That's a minus 10%. The other is going to advance on you. The others will spend their
10.
actions walking over to you, Jacob.
Okay.
Failure. Do you have your Mind Gauche out?
No, that's the point, because I don't have any weapons out at this point, so what can I even parry
Okay,
with?
so then I'm not sure why... Yeah, okay. So you are not parrying, you're not spending any fortune points. You are taking, however, 10 points of damage. So reduce that by your toughness and your armor, if you've got any.
Yeah,
Okay, so guys, if we're going into a fight, this is the stuff to look up beforehand to make sure you've got it ready at hand. And then the last one is trying to chop you. They're doing the same tactic, and it misses you altogether, Orderic. Jacob, these ones walk up to you and have their halberds kind of at the ready. They're each of them are spending half an action to ready a parry as well, too. The other ones are moving over to you. And I don't think they're actually... Oh, no, they're able to get to you. So they're, you can picture you're on your pony and they're sort of there. And for mounted stuff, I'm going to give you plus 10% to your attacks from mounted, or for your melee attacks from mounted because of the spear position. But if you are using any attacks, you use a lower of your whatever your riding score is or your ability.
Okay. And there's 2 of them coming at me, right?
2 of them are at you, yeah. I'm just going to position them around. So they've moved up and like, get off of there. You're going to hang. We won't need a long rope. All right. So then, Orderic, did you find your armor and your toughness?
he doesn't have any armor. His toughness is 35.
So 3?
3. Take 8 points.
So you take 8 points of damage.
7 points.
7 points of damage.
7, yeah.
Okay. Ugh. All right, then it is Orderic's turn. Orderic, what are you doing? Well, it's your turn, bud. What are you doing?
Right. Half action to ready, and then a half action to.
Well, do you? If you've got no weapons out, what do you mean you're readying? Remember, like you need to draw weapons too.
Yeah. And then the other half action would be.
Now hold on. Let's see if is this.
He can have to ready and then have to parry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he wanted to.
Okay, so you got your sword out. You mean? Now you.
Yeah, it's whichever's best is parrying. So yeah, it would be the rapier actually.
Okay. See, if you want, guys, as a reminder, you can spend fortune points to take extra half actions.
Mm-hmm.
Too. So if, say, you wanted to attack, you can feel free to do so. Then it is back to Jacob. So, Jacob, you're surrounded by these halberdiers. Lord Angeron has a shit-eating grin on his face. He is glad to see such a motley group hang.
I am going to try to get out from them. So you get the action and move are separate. Remind me, right?
No. If you're trying to, there is a.
Move is a half action. So I'm going to use my. I may use a fortune after this for an additional half action, but I'm going to use my half action for move to try to get out from them, to try to get my pony, to get away from them.
Yeah.
Is that disengage as a full action? That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I guess so. Then I will.
I don't think that's
a good point. Good point.
Disengage. Yes, it is. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And they're currently engaged, right? Do they meet that? They're engaged with me.
They are engaged with you. Yeah.
Okay. I will spend a. Let's see. How far away do I?
So I will spend. I'll move them.
Okay.
Back. What's the? Let's see here.
Let's see. Disengage is on 127.
So you can do your move. What is your? Do you remember the speed of your pony?
It's my pony's move. Yeah. Let's see here.
Because you had to use that. Here we go. Ponies have a move of 6, which means you can move 12 away.
Yeah. So I'm gonna and I need a full action, right? So
yes.
I'll spend a fortune point to do that for an extra half.
Okay.
And
so they come riding up, and you're like, whoa. And what was the name of your pony again?
I know. I was looking for it.
It was a good name, too.
It was a good name. It's like, is it Sadie? I think it's Sadie.
Is it? Okay.
I'll find it. I'm pretty sure it's Sadie. But Sadie, get us out of here!
Is it Sandy?
Okay, now you're confusing me.
Yeah, I can't remember, honestly. I'm not...
Let's see. I'll find it. I got it written down on my sheet.
That's a great illustration for your halfling, too.
Get
for
us
your
out
notes.
Of here. Yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
Yeah, so you pull them back, and then this thing pulls back. Then what are you doing with your other half action?
Well, I think I need both. I think it's a full action to disengage. So I think I'm done.
Yeah. Well, what was the other half action?
I used a half to delay, so I only had a half left.
Oh, no, but this is your turn now.
Oh, I thought I went first.
You're up first here.
Well, so it's my understanding, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding that to delay like that and not go first cost me a half action right off the bat.
Right, but that was the last turn, though. We're on a new turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Time she flies. Because, you interrupted while the halberdiers were taking to draw your...
Yeah, you have your sling out. You got your sling out.
I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought I misunderstood. Okay. Then that is half action, and I got out my sling and before, I guess.
Yep.
And this
So
time...
you had your sling out as they approached you. If you're going to spend a fortune point, you could spend your full action to withdraw 12 yards away from these guys, and then take another half action on top of that.
Yeah, I'll do that. So I'll spend one, and I'll let loose with the sling.
Okay. Who are you throwing at? There are 2 that are now like, where are you going?
And this guy's injured.
I mean,
at the end of the line.
Let's see. I mean, it probably behooves. I mean, I think he'd probably go after one of the guys coming after me.
Yeah, because shooting as a melee is a minus 20% penalty too.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's better to. So discourage these guys, yeah.
This guy's coming after me, right?
He is, yeah.
I will go after. I'll take a shot at him.
Okay. Range is 12. If you're moving the full distance away.
Yep.
Which I think is short range for your sling, isn't it?
Let me see here.
Missile weapon sling. That'd be medium range, actually. You could just move to 8 yards away and be in short range. Or do you want to make sure they can't catch you?
I think defense is the better wisdom. I'm going to go the full.
Okay.
I don't need halberds. He's halberd allergic. Halflings are, and he's going to take a
breaks
shot.
Breaks out in a nasty rash when he's hit with the sharpened steel.
He does. Besides the missing limbs, he breaks out in a rash. So what is the minus, Kev?
For
minus 20
range. I'm just checking here.
Yeah. Let's see here.
It's on my DM screen, or at least not easily accessible on my DM screen. Range. For those listening at home, again, this is the first time we've
Yeah. I should know this.
Its fire to melee is at -20. -20 for long range.
Okay.
Okay. Now we know that. And -20 seems to be sort of the catch-all for like random situational modifiers. Yep. So be -20 for long range. Go ahead.
Let's loose and -20.
They can't dodge either, so.
There you go.
Bummer.
Did not work.
You want to spend a fortune point to re-roll that?
I'm gonna hang on. Nope. I'm good.
All right. So you swing at them, and they're like, we'll get ya. Gareel, what are you doing?
He's gonna try to at least take one down before he goes to meet more.
Yep. Go ahead. I suppose in a dwarf case, you'll be joining your ancestors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. You want to spend a fortune point?
Yeah, I'll spend a fortune point
to
re-roll that.
Now, you could also spend a second. You could aim as a half action, or do you want to spend a half action to get a defense?
I'm going to keep a parry.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't guarded attack. It doesn't automatically give you the ability to parry, right? It just gives you you have to guarded attack, and then it says guard attacks.
Guard attack just gives you a bonus to any attempted parries.
Wait. I don't think it gives you the ability to parry.
It doesn't, as far as like rules is written. Ninny. Okay. I'm gonna have to check the errata on that because it feels like if you're spending your full action doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll if I miss, I'm fine. I'll probably try to save the parry, save my luck to survive. So he hacks at him and then gets parrying stance, and then I'll look that up. Okay. But it's a guarded attack.
Guarded attack. Okay, so.
I'll look it up.
-10% to hit, plus 10% to your parries.
No. I'm not doing I'm just attacking normally and then gonna parry stance.
Okay.
I'll look up guarded attack and see if it allows you to. Right, if you get the parry.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't say, unless it's in errata. It's until his next turn you gain plus 10% on any attempted parries and dodges. It doesn't say that you.
Yeah, so I'll just attack and parry as I have.
Okay, so all right. And I'm sorry, did you want to spend the fortune point to reroll that attack?
No, I'm going to save it.
All right,
dodging for parrying.
Then, and you could also spend fortune points for extra parries too. So then this injured one, I think what he's going to do is that chop seemed to be pretty effective last time, so he's going to try and chop again. You'll have plus 10% to your parries. Come here, you little bastard. That is a wild miss. Sinks into the ground, and the one behind is going to try and swoop again too. Similar thing, greater damage, better chance to parry. Also misses over your head. Great. Then it is the two on Orderic. So the one is going to try. Now that you got your blade out, he's going to try and stab you. So he minus 10% to your parry if I hit here. Oh, mama. That's a hit.
Uh-oh.
So parry at minus 10%. If you'd like to, Orderic, or you can take the damage.
You probably...
You want to spend a fortune point?
Yep.
Oh, no! You can spend as many as you... Oh, you can't, I guess, because it cuts off there. Oh, shit. Mm-hmm. All right. So, Orderic, you take... that is 10 points of damage. So, let's see what happens. You don't die automatically. Now, hold on. Let's talk about fortune points and fate points, because that's what they're there for. If a character dies with either of those still in his character sheet, then you're doing it wrong. So let's see here. You can spend fortune points to reroll one failed. Oh, can only be done once. Can only be done at any time. Only one per failure. You can spend a fate point to avoid injuries from disease, poison, and being lost permanently. Okay. All right. So let's see what happens. This is our first critical hit. So
currently, I was on 3, so I'm at now the -6.
-6. Okay, so actually, like, you don't become a -6, but that becomes the critical value. Would you give us a percentile roll there, Mo? Sorry, I'm making you roll critical hits on yourself. And then I got to roll hit location as well. See where he gets you.
No, not /T/1.
I got you in the right arm, and 19%. 19 is a 10 critical value. Which I think... Let's see here. Critical hits... Consult the appropriate table for right arm. All right. Oh my god. All right, so critical effect for the right arm. I'm not sure I'm doing this right. 1 second here. The critical value of +7, then rolls percentile die. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, the result, Mo, is killed in whatever spectacular and gore-drenched fashion the player or GM care to describe. So I'm going to guess you're going to spend a fate point and avoid that.
Yeah.
All right. So what you guys can see is this thing brings up the... it was stabbing. Ordric turns and he's about to try and parry, and this halberd plunges like right into his arm, burying him to the ground, and he is pushing down on him. And he looks like so you're at 0 wounds right now. And he...
interesting. Okay.
Looks like...
You don't want to roll low.
No, you want to roll high on the crit hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so then Ordric is down. And the other is going to stagger forward and try and like grab Ordric. Then it is... So Ordric is... Oh, there's the 2 on Jacob. I don't think... If they run... I have my move chart on my DM screen here. Let's see. Don't roll this one. They do not duplicate the move stats from there. Okay, so if they've got to move 4, so they can charge you, Jacob. They're come running over. And they have plus 10% on their attack here. Which
are they able to reach me?
They are. Even 12 away, they can run 16.
Okay.
Yeah, for their charge. It is their full action though, so. So the first one is going to miss. These are the sweeps, the ones that do more damage. I might give you a bonus. Both of them. You're keeping Ninny, ducking back and forth. Both of those chopping blows do not hit you.
Okay.
Jacob, now it's your turn. What are you doing?
I mean, Jacob can't take these 2 guys on. He's going to try to get out of there again. He needs to get some space. He needs to use Ninny's pony legs to try to get some kind of at least defensive advantage.
Yep.
And so he's going to do, let me see here. He's going to do whatever he can to get as far away from them as possible. So I guess that would be a sprint.
Okay.
Let's see.
Run is a full action, and Ninny can run 36 yards.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Okay, so then they will get attacks of opportunity on you.
Oh, yeah.
A free attack
gotcha.
on you.
Yep.
So let's see if they can tag you. First one.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Would I be better off using my full action as a disengage and using a fortune point for an additional half action that gets me farther away than that? An additional half action
to
to
do
move.
Another move?
Yeah. to prevent the free attacks.
So the only question I have is whether there's a restriction on how many move actions you can take in a turn.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that is... Let's see here. Cannot take more than one cast action. Cannot take more than one attack action. So yes, that is absolutely fair game.
Okay.
So yeah, you could move with the combination of those two. Ninny could get 24 yards away.
I'm in without the I mean, because I can already feel like the little bubbles of allergy popping out on Jacob's face.
Yes. That's for sure my favorite line. Halflings are notoriously allergic to bladed steel.
Yeah, big ones, especially by the bigs.
Yeah.
So, full action to disengage, spending a fortune point. Let me take that off my sheet. Spending a fortune point down to 1. And see, is that on my... that's not on my token, is it? Do we have that on tokens?
I think it does track to your character sheet, the fortune points.
Okay, cool. Yes, it does. So, and then a half action, I use that fortune point for additional half action, which I use for the move.
Yeah.
Go, Ninny, go!
Okay. So,
with halberds swinging behind me.
Yep. They swing these things. Then it is Gareel.
All right. So, is there a way you can disengage to any of among the mud and wattle huts?
Yes. Yep. Definitely.
So I'm gonna use my full action to disengage. So I'm among the huts, and I'm gonna use a fortune to try to hide.
Sure. Yeah.
Get out of view from as an extra action.
Yeah.
Get from out of view from them. So. And then I don't know why I do that.
Stealth. Yeah. I think, what is it? Is it hide? Or is it stealth? Do they call it stealth? I can't remember.
We'll find out.
Got my DM screen here.
Silent move silent move is one. Hide. Is it hide?
So your basic skills, advanced skills.
Concealment.
Concealment, I think, is actually...
I didn't realize that.
I think it's hiding stuff on you.
Okay.
But let's just see. I may have that wrong.
Silent move.
Concealment, you're absolutely right, Sean. Yeah, concealment is to hide from unfriendly eyes.
Okay.
Oh, it's awful, but...
Yeah, and because, I'm going to give you plus 10% because of the condition of these things. There's for sure going to be like a little hole that a dwarf could, jam himself through.
Nice.
Okay, so... good, it is a basic skill. All right, so hopefully this works. If not, at least he...
Who has antihistamines?
Jeez, okay. Oh, well, at least he disengaged, so...
you could
have to follow him.
Yep, you could spend a fortune...
have to follow him among the mud huts.
Do you want to spend a fortune point to reroll? Is your concealment only 19% normally?
Yeah, he's a... Yeah, haven't been able to increase that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you...
Yeah, I guess his agility is that bad, huh?
Okay. All right.
Those dwarves.
No, it should be 39. But I failed anyway.
You failed anyway.
If it's based on agility, right? I don't know why it's not updated. It's weird.
Yeah, concealment's based on agility, yep.
Yeah. I don't know why the skills aren't updating. Okay. Or maybe you have to train in them. That's what you have to train.
Oh, it's trained. Yeah, trained.
Yeah, it's a trained. Are you not trained in concealment?
No.
Advanced skill? Okay,
no.
Then that's
at an advancement I could do that. But
okay.
Right.
Okay.
Well, at least he gets into that. I'll save the.
Yeah, at least you're
just in case.
Yeah. So
So they have to chase me in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lord Angeron says, as the one is looming over the seemingly dead Orderic, the other one turns and like, come over, and goes to grab Odo. These two are still chasing after Jacob. They're like, take him down! Kill that pony! And they're running after you. They cannot cap... wait, you got 24 away?
Let's
because it was 12 and
double check.
Yeah, because Ninny's disengage would be 12, and then another half one is 12.
Yes.
They can actually run 24. They can't attack you this round. But they're like, ah! You can picture like you're sort of running through the field, like ducking one way and the other way, and they're racing along trying to catch up to you across that muddy open green.
Can they engage me?
They are engaged. They're able to run up and they've got enough movement to reach you, but they can't attack this round, and they've got no extras.
Okay.
Okay, and then the others are, because I'm on the, sorry, I forgot to skip them forward. The others have come running around the corner, and Guriel is trying to like jam himself into this thing. He looks over and sees the two of them there, and they say, "Where are you going, little feller?" And they start walking in towards you. When can I ask everybody to give me a percentile roll, please?
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Nice. So, Orderic, in your fevered state, you can see one of them standing over you and kind of gloating. Mo, would you kindly give us a 1d10 plus 3 roll, please? Nice. So you're standing there, and you see the shaft seems to suddenly appear in his chest. And he looks up, and same thing with you, Guriel. You see this arrow flies past you down the alleyway that you're in, and Jacob as well. There's 2 arrows land in the green, and the halberdier is going to look over. What you guys can see is from the edge, you may recall that the village borders on 2 fairly wild and thick forest regions. There's about 10 men with arrows, or archers with bows and arrows, who are firing at the men. They're all dressed like peasants, and the one of the men that's among them yells out, "Run! Join us! Run!" And then Orderic is still unfortunately unconscious, or at least incapacitated. But you have...
Yeah, I'm probably dizzy. I'm just vaguely hearing this.
Yeah. Jacob,
blur, so I'm down.
What are you doing?
Might become a rescue op.
Right. Jacob is engaged, right?
Yep.
So spends his action as a full action for disengage. Does the same thing as last time.
Yep.
And then is going to spend his last fortune point on an extra half action of move towards the he's going to accept their invitation.
Yep.
That's the plan. He's got a new plan.
Would you guys? Everyone can make a what is it? The regional lore or whatever it's called. Bretonian.
All right.
I take it you don't want me to do it, seeing as I'm unconscious at this point.
You can make the roll anyway too, Orderic. Nice.
Oh, before I pass out. Okay, yeah.
Common knowledge. That's the word I'm looking for. All right.
Nope, I know nothing, but at least Jacob knows something.
Jacob,
there you go.
So you've in the Ardennes forest, you have not. You've heard rumors of something similar too, but you may remember that the cruelty that the Bretonian nobility inflicts on its people at times engenders this kind of slave revolt, not slave revolt, but like peasant revolt. Members of the Faceless. The what are they called? Erimo, I think they're called. They're the like the Robin Hood type rebels.
What was the word? Erimo?
I think it's Erimo, and just let me double check.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Harry Mo.
Harry Mo,
are you
yeah.
Harry Mo.
There you go. They are called. Yeah, Erimo. Yeah, it's. Let me put this down here.
Ooh, okay.
And they are led by the Faceless. Okay, so
the Faceless is like a person.
It's a person, it's a position, it's kind of like the person who sort of leads the Erimo, or the bands of different Erimo. They're known as the Faceless. And they could be, they could be members of the nobility, they could be members of the peasantry, the merchant, the sort of burgeoning merchant class, anyone who is opposed to the cruelty of the nobility. So, you were planning on so you would recognize this, Jacob. You know sort of what is likely going on here.
Yeah, and I accept the invitation of the Arimo.
Okay. So you start riding off in their direction.
Go,
Gareel,
go!
what do you want to do?
Are these guys on me? They're engaged?
They have not had a chance to actually meet up with you. They're probably about maybe 3 yards away.
Okay, so he's going to like take his double move, I guess. He'll get closer. I mean, he'll move 12. If I run, right?
If you run is 18, you got to move a 3, right?
Yeah.
Run is 18.
Use his full action to run towards that group of people.
Okay. All right, so you turn and start racing over.
Yeah, if they're not engaged, if they're engaged, I can use them.
If you spare a look back, you can see that Lord Angeron has reared his charger around and is charging back towards his keep.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of these guys.
There's 10 of them with longbows, and they've got distance. So the men-at-arms likewise are beginning to sort of try and get cover as they can, and some are turning and running back towards the keep. Mm-hmm. Odo runs forward, and Ordric, you can feel yourself being lifted up as Odo grabs you and one of the other survivors and drags you along with them. And you will, one of them will have grabbed your sword as well, too. But with that, they turn, and you guys are able to reach, although there's a lot of shouting and whatnot, you guys are able to reach the far side of the village, and then join the Arimo. As you reach them, I think, Jacob, you'd be the first one to reach there. They just gesture like, into the woods! Into the woods!
And, Jacob guides Ninny. Like, okay.
Okay. And let's talk about what the woods look like. So these are wild and untamed kind of areas. Very quickly, this is not the...
where did Gareel get hit, by the way? I don't think we ever decided where.
Well, you didn't get a critical, so it didn't. It would have been like remember, there's the two different
body or something.
Yeah, we can do like unless you're fighting a main opponent, or unless you suffer a crit. I'm going to assume you get the best.
Matter.
Yeah, you're going to get the best armor defense.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool. So he's got a slash across the chest or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
As we're entering the forest, Jacob's going to look back and see if his comrades following. I think he probably saw Odric fall, and he's going to look and see if he's still there.
Sure. You get to the edge, you look back, and you see Odo and one of the other peasants is dragging Odric's body. Maybe.
How strong do you have to be to fireman carry?
What is your strength?
My strength is 30, so probably.
Yeah, I think that's good enough. Once you actually get there.
I mean, because I remember these peasants are like. They've eaten well in the last couple of days, but.
Okay, so you reach the edge. You can see the.
I'll help with it.
The last, as you reach the edge, the Lord Angeron reaches his keep, and there's a trail of 6 guardsmen who are sort of making their way towards the keep as well to join him. And let's turn this off.
Jacob's going to be yelled to his new allies. Wait for my comrades. He'll just, whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
I'll wave to Jacob, and as I kind of help out Odo with Odoric.
Sure. So you guys you go over and you help Odo with that, and you guys are the last thing you sort of see as they as soon as Gareel and the other peasants and Odo reach the actual edge of the forest and begin making their way in with Ordric. You spare a last look back, and then you can see that the peasants seem to be in a bit of a state. Fortunately, the ire of the men-at-arms seems to have been focused on you. So while the state of Ordric is, or the health of Ordric is an open question right now, it does seem like you have managed to spare the peasants the wrath of Lord Angeron's men. So with that, as you guys are riding in, then the Faceless all turn and come running along with you. I see that we are very close to our mid-session break right now. Why don't we take our mid-session break now? And then we will see what secrets await you in the forests of Bretonnia.
Forest.
Cool.
So back momentarily.
Yeah, I can open that now.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, Sean. I can access it also.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, for a minute there, I was thinking I was having to generate a new character. Which
oh, right.
Or maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't look good.
Yeah, I should have burned to fortune point to.
I was going to stay, but once you went down, you know.
Yeah, I should have spent
I was like,
to win the initiative, but.
Right.
I'd forgotten quite how brutal Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's brutal. It's pretty quick.
I mean, 6 minute war too with halberds. That's no joke. I mean, it's a outnumbered. They got double the numbers. They got halberds and they got armor. It's not a good situation.
Yeah, but hey, maybe they'll remember us.
Yeah,
I got a lick in.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sometimes that's all you can hope for, right?
And you've still got your challenge out there, Oderic.
Yeah,
Roland's the only one that's got heavy armor, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
All right, sorry about that, guys. The Sundays they are always delivering my chef's plate late, so I had to quickly get that shit in the.
Did you say chest plate?
Chef's plate.
Oh, chef's plate. Like, wow, collecting armor there.
And he's getting it weekly. His weekly chest plate.
I think Dave, Dave is part of that service because he's got his chainmail armor and he's got his Conan shield. So, all right,
got a Conan shield
coming to a LARP near you.
Yeah. All right. So for those, we'll say howdy to everyone in chat too. Hi everybody. Let's see who we got. We got Jeffrey, Jacobert, Steve the NPC, Pope, Brian. And that's everybody. Thank you, everybody. Hope your Sunday is off to a great start. A better start than what Oderic is having. Oh, my goodness.
I know.
So, I took a moment as well,
I thought he was a goner. So you permanently had to burn a fate point, though, right? Is that what you did?
0 fate points now.
Yeah.
Oh, 0.
No, I know, but you had 2 fate points now.
You're down to like 2. Instead of having 3 that you can call on, your
fortune points are your daily fortune points are dictated by how many fate points you have. So you would have 3 fate points to start.
Right. See, I didn't have that right on my character sheet. Let me just change that.
I don't think that you did it correct because I think that where is it here?
I only had 1, but
nope. That's FP should be 3. I think for humans, I gave you guys maximum for your races. I think so. Then, guys.
Yeah, I have extra because I took that talent. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. So as you guys are making your way into the woods, the Faceless are sort of once the fighting is done, the Faceless, the Arimo, come over and sort of they'll take Orderic from you, Gareel, to try and let you move a little faster, and they begin dragging him off, and they just assume that you're going to follow them. If you drag behind, this is difficult going for a pony like Nini,
right. Mm-hmm.
Jacob. So,
is it better if I dismount? Would I think? Yeah,
and just lead. Like if she stumbles on a root or something like that, and you take a fall. You know.
Jacob's pretty fleet of foot too, so I think Jacob will jump off and go, "Come on, Nini!" And give her some encouragement and lead her dashing.
One of the Arimo goes past and just simply says, "Keep that horse quiet."
No, okay. Don't make them mad, Nini.
So, and actually, you know what? If you want, with you off it, they could put Ordric on Ninny, like just drape him across, and then see if he's alive once you get to their encampment.
And that way they'll be less mad at you, Ninny.
I also took a moment to take a look at healing as well too, while we were gone. So, do you guys have any? The trip to their encampment is going to take probably like a little bit more than an hour of walking through all these woods. Do you guys have? Are you traveling in silence, or are you? Do you want to speak to them about anything?
I'll just
go ahead.
I'm not going to say anything. I think.
Sure.
Yeah, particularly after that admonition of Ninny to Ninny, he's going to be, look, he don't want to. Periodically, he'll be going, he want to.
That's awesome. I don't know if I told you, Sean, but in our D&D campaigns, from a comment that Dave made, I'm going to make so that because I like using accents, like bad accents for different races, so it's easy to tell what they are. For halflings, they're all going to sound like David Lynch. Oh man,
no doubt. Yeah.
Okay. So then, what you guys find after an hour of travel, Orderic is also remarkably laconic for his usual state.
Yeah.
But this is what you come upon.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are shown to a... they seem to spread out, and in the encampment itself, there's probably about close to 30 people here. Men, women, and children, whatnot, and one of the and it's not like loud, but I mean it's a camp here, so there's like chatter and whatnot, and you think you can hear. One of the Eremo puts his hand on your shoulder, Gariel, and says, "Over there, she'll help you." And he gestures to Jacob, and he says, "Yes." And there's an old a woman who's probably in her like mid-40s, who's sitting near kind of an encampment or a camp or a tent, and there's a bunch of like unguents and whatnot that are there. And he says to you, Jacob, as well too, see them over there as well. See to him over there.
So I'll lead Ninny over there with Odric.
Okay. So as you get there...
Your horse didn't get injured, did it?
Well, I was just going to say, after we get Odric off, in all the excitement, Jacob's going to make a careful look over of Ninny to make sure she didn't get,
Absolutely.
Catch a little blade.
Yeah. Are they allergic as well?
Oh, yes. Definitely. Ponies? Oh, yeah. Maybe more so.
Yeah.
If possible.
You got the old world equivalent of an EpiPen for her?
Yep. No, yeah. I don't. So that's why.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I was looking for... Oh, dang. I was just too busy being a smart ass. I forgot what I was actually looking up. What was I looking up here? What were we just talking about?
Healing?
Now, healing I looked up. I know that now.
Okay. Let's see, because we were going over to the healer's tent, who's about in her 40s, and what else did we discuss?
Yes, I remember now. It was a name. Okay. I got old world names on my DM screen, but I don't have the Bretonian names, and I prefer to use. These are clearly Bretonians here.
Mm.
So, as you make your way over towards this woman looks up. And the man who sort of is walking along with you says, "Well, Zoetha, they need assistance." And she looks over. And she turns and as soon as she gets over to Orderic and sort of pushes him back, you don't need to make a roll for this whatsoever. But Jacob and Gariel, you can see that there's a reaction, like as if she bit into something that disagreed with her when she sees the red and blue of his clothing. And she shoots a look to the man who brought you over, and she says, he puts his hand up to stop her, and he's like, he was fighting with them. He tried to assist them. And Odo stepped forward and says, he was helping us. He brought us back here. He's not like the others. And Odo doesn't seem to know these people, but he does seem to be quite
comfortable
to stick up for you in this, which suggests that these are all peasants as well.
Jacob
so she
gives
says, fine.
Odo a thankful wink.
Okay. Take him down and place him by the fire. And you, she gestures at Gariel, come here. So she grabs a bandage. And Gariel, you can go.
I'm injured too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look down and you're like, oh shit, yeah. Right. Give us a 1d10 roll, please, Gariel.
Okay.
Nice.
9. Oh, nice.
So she, looks you over, gets you to take your jerkin off, does a little bit of bandaging. She says, you're fine. You'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Your kind is truly made of stone.
Yeah.
She looks at
so
Odric.
I get actually 9 points back?
9 points back, yeah. Yeah, the heal skill is pretty helpful.
Indeed.
Yeah, nice. You should be at full, 14 points.
Yeah, I'll be full, yeah. Yeah, I took 9, so.
Okay. She then turns to Odric and pulls back the bloody remains of his finery. It's going to be ruined at this point, so she sort of strips that stuff off of him. And the wound is bad, and it's going to take time to heal, but she applies some, takes some herbs and a little bit of water from a boiling kind of thing, and mixes it up together in a little mortar and pestle, and then applies it to the wound and whatnot. And after a bit of time, Ordric, you are restored to 1 wound. So right now, just so you guys know, if you are reduced to 3 wounds or less, you are considered heavily injured. If you are not, if you're more than that, you are lightly injured. Lightly injured people with sleep will recover. With treatment, you can recover 1d10. Heal can be used on you once per day. And natural sleep will restore natural recovery will restore 1 wound point per day for lightly wounded characters. Heavily wounded characters recover 1 wound per week, and you can benefit from heal treatment once per day that will restore 1 point. So Ordric is pretty fucked up right now. Not dead, but pretty messed up. So Ordric, as you're coming to, you can see the Gariel is sitting, bandaged up. They brought some food for you guys as well too, some game that was caught in the forest. What, Jacob? What would you have done during this time?
Jacob first carefully checks over Ninny, and finding her unmarked, and gives her an apple.
Yep.
And settles her down a little bit, and then smells out that stew and takes care of himself. And can't fight on an empty stomach, and goes kind of waddling over to in his halfling gait.
So one of the Arimo looks and says, "You like that stew, then?"
Ooh, boy, I can tell you're skilled. I appreciate this, and kind of waits for a
invitation. And he leans down, looks over at Ninny, looks back at you. Do you recognize the flavor?
Oh, jeez.
Are you like, that's all he says.
Yeah, they all kind of laugh amongst themselves. And one or two of them kind of pat Ninny, and Ninny kind of is uncomfortable. Can
I make a sniff test of the stew?
You can. Do you have any kind of cooking or anything like that?
It's a good question. I do. I actually do.
I thought
I have trade cook.
Yeah. Go ahead, give us a check. Give it plus 20.
Nice. Oh, I can't quite make it out. There's too much spice in here.
Can't quite make it out. There is a well-known Bretonian speciality, though, of cheval.
I say elk.
They all kind of laugh. So
I'll take a sample taste. He's too hungry. He can't help it.
It's not like anything fancy or anything like that, but I mean, it definitely does the job, and there are big chunks of meat in there. And as you take your first bite, Nini kind of.
and Jacob says to himself, "Sorry, Nini," and takes a big bite.
Okay. So, Orderic, you come to with this in an extraordinary amount of pain, and with this woman standing over you. She's clearly a peasant.
Classic, where am I?
Okay. So, Garil and Jacob, you hear Orderic saying something.
These men rescued us. You took a halberd to the gut, and these men rescued us. They fired upon those men-at-arms and gave us enough cover to flee.
Oh, thank you.
So we're in the forest somewhere.
And Jacob walks over and says to the healer, "Can I give him a spoonful of stew?"
She nods, says his arms hurt, not his stomach.
Very well. Audric, taste this. It's pretty good. We'll talk about what's in it later.
That's right. You took the shot to the arm. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will.
You almost got your arm chopped off.
Okay. So
you were quite brave, Audric.
As you take a bite or two and get yourself up, Orderic, you realize, like, oh god, like it's your arm.
I know the feeling. Up 30 seconds. I want to go back to the bed. Yeah. I've been there.
So, what? Let's see here, because just gonna double check here. I think there's an effect of being heavily wounded as well too. I think that your movement is reduced. Like the game doesn't get into full detail.
Probably I could hobble about 10 feet.
Yeah, there's not like a death spiral thing.
So I just have to get back to 4 points to be not heavily wounded. And then
correct. Just with treatment, that's like 2 days off.
I think it was per week you could.
Oh, no, but they can do the treatment.
Per day they can give you a hit point. Oh, so it's not like several weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking I might have to have like a deputy character if we're having.
Okay, or you just like time passes. We're not gonna.
Yeah.
That is one nice thing. So I'm trying to see if there is.
Did Odo and all the other rescued peasants come back with us?
Okay, they're not important during combat. It just affects time. So the adrenaline carries you through. Yes, Odo is with the peasants here still too, though he is sitting on his own. He does not. He and the other peasant who helped carry your stuff. They have not joined. Like they're not. It's not obvious that they're members of the Erimo. Now, what do you guys wish to do? So you've been waiting for your ally to awaken.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if we want to wait to approach them, or wait before we approach them, or wait till they call us.
They don't seem to be like they're not prompting. They're talking among themselves in a low manner, but they're not. They're not volunteering information necessarily. Yeah. They're not. I mean, if you approach them, they may say something, but they're sort of leaving this woman to treat you guys.
Jacob would be looking for communal eating. So first of all, eating, but then second, communal eating. So he'll be over by the stew, looking like, oh, is anyone else eating over here? And he'll have a seat. Find a seat and look at everyone pleasantly, like, and compliment the stew and make some comments about the spices and try to, ingratiate himself through the food.
Sure. Why don't you give us a charm check, please?
All right.
And I'll give you no modifier, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, because halflings are not terribly well thought of, but there's nothing you've done that are, you're a bit of a curiosity here. Mm-hmm. Your family and those living in the Ardennes are ones. Okay, so that's a fail with 2 degrees. You want to spend a fortune point to... Oh, you're out. You're out.
I'm out.
You're out.
Okay.
I used up all my halfling luck just getting out of there.
Yeah. All right, so you get over there and sit down. They seem to largely clam up, so you're sort of you can see, Gareel, that Jacob's gone over, and actually Ordric, you'd see this as well too. Jacob's gone over and starts, being his usual self with everyone, chatting and talking. Yeah. And it seems to very quickly, be the only one chatting and talking.
Yeah.
Gareel and Ordric, what are you guys doing?
I guess Gareel Gareel's not very charming, but he can try to go up there and talk to them. Or maybe actually Gareel's probably, since he's not very charming, probably just straightforward says, well, things aren't the same like they are in Longeal. These country barons seem not pleasant, and I would say not doing their job.
Okay. I think I'll give you a plus 20 for that, partly because you're not from here, partly because you're definitely playing to what you think are their sensibilities. So Go ahead and give us a charm at plus 20.
Charm at plus 20. Ooh, that might be. I'm actually trained in charm, but my fellowship, is like low. So. Oh yeah.
You got 2 fortune points left, and they'll refresh tomorrow morning.
Oh, this is true. I will use a fortune.
Okay.
And try to re-roll that.
Come on. God
no,
dang.
It's even worse.
Fucking hell.
We're just offensive to these guys, I guess.
In fairness, I think these guys are also very they're very defensive as well too, right? Like if you're so in such a state that you're gonna cast off the system that your church and everything else says, then Now, Mo, just to role-playing stuff aside, you're not suffering any penalties in combat or any other stuff right now. So what I think narratively to make sense of is you're treated and you're holding together, but if you were hit with some kind of attack, it's very likely you would be prone to re-injury very quickly and might die.
Yeah.
So you're don't feel like you need to be you're definitely the walking wounded right now, but you're not suffering any penalties to anything. You can still feel free to play your character as much as you were before.
Well, I'll try and talk to the healer then, and also try and charm, find out a bit more about her and.
Now, unfortunately, because of your status, you are going to take a minus 20 to this.
Okay. Well.
So, and actually, hold on.
Well, I do remind. I mean, if he talks and they seem not to be listening, I think try to remind them that he did stand up. We did bring. He is our leader, and he did decide to bring these people back to their home after they were kidnapped.
One second, too. I'm actually going to give you. Hold on.
So if we need to talk it out, that's fine.
Make that a 0. So one of the things, just for those listening at home who may be wondering about the cascade of failures here, one of the suggestions for this adventure is that for starting characters, you actually get plus 20% on most of your skill checks. And I have not been doing that with, not your weapon attacks or anything, but these other ones. So let's just quickly take a look here to see if anyone would have, if you had a plus 20. No, I think, the cook test would have succeeded. Yeah. So... Jacob, interesting. The Bretonnian word cheval, you know what that means in common? Horse. Cheval is the French word for horse, which is where we get chevalier from.
He does have speak language Bretonnian, so he may have,
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
If I came to him as he's wolfing down some of this wonderful stew and looking over at Ninny.
It looks like the plus 20 would not have affected anything else. So what I'll do, Ordric, is... and you're right, Gareel, they did talk up the guy, too. So let's say it's a net plus 10% to your charm, Ordric. And you're given a ratty old shirt.
Bless you.
Thank you. Nice. Oh, really, really good. Okay, so she hands you the shirt, and as you put your hand on it, she looks up and she says, "You're breaking the law by wearing that,
Well, after fighting with the local baron, I think a little bit of clothing is neither here nor there, my lady. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm a good woman.
So she, little corner of her mouth kind of goes up. What else do you wish to ask? You feel free. We'll role play this out, and I'll just interpret your 3 degrees of success.
Oh, well, I'll just say, well, you've saved me from certain death at the hands of... I think the Baron has become corrupted. But where are we, and how did you get me out of there?
I didn't do nothing to get you out of there. It was the boys. Boys brought you down.
Ah, well, I must thank their leader then.
The Faceless. He's not here yet. Tomorrow you'll talk to him.
Very well. Well, in that case, I think I might risk a little more of the stew.
It's good. Though, if you want more, and she kind of looks over at Ninny, we may need more supplies. And she looks at it. We ain't got no silver, neither.
Oh, well, in that case, I think I can help out with the supplies that way.
What she's referring to is the fact that you, as a noble, have to eat off of silver. So the sumptuary laws are such that you eat off of silver plates using silver cutlery.
I think I'll say, well, I think when we're in the field hunting and what have you, I think we tend to,
Nope.
That's only for formal dining.
Is that what you're saying? Or, because I'll tell you that's not the case.
Right. Oh, okay, so you have to take the full set of cutlery.
The sumptuary laws are a serious thing here. Nobles are the only ones who can build their buildings out of stone. They're the only ones who can build walls out of wood. They're the only ones who can wear certain materials, and they're the only ones who can eat off of silver.
Well, I think I'll say, well, we were already in revolt against him, so I think any penalties you might have for not having any silver plate here is rather minor.
She's a little surprised. It says, "And go help yourself then." Okay, so you make your way over, and Orderic comes and joins you guys, and you see he's dressed very plainly now. He's got a kind of poor-fitting, like peasant's shirt on as well. You guys will have the bulk of the evening to talk to these guys if you choose to. Anything you wish to do? It seems like Orderic has made some inroads with these guys, or at least with the healer.
Yeah,
Jacob's
over a bowl of stew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, Odric, they seem to like you.
No, well,
don't worry. I don't think they're gonna turn you into the Lord for not putting a silver spoon in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you could find out what the hell's going on here.
Yeah, well, I believe the leader is due tomorrow. He'll probably fill in some more, but I do wonder what's been happening to the Lord.
Yeah, it's very...
not caring that your peasants disappear. I mean...
Well, he did care, but...
They are effectively part of your wealth as a noble.
But he feels like they ran away, right? He's accusing them of running away.
Well, and why did he not send someone to find them?
Yeah, I mean, if it's bad and we brought him back, we should get paid for it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we know they didn't run away.
Well, no, because actually said
I'm not saying
when they came back, he was accusing them of being...
running away.
And was going to hang them anyway when they came back. So either he's very unsure about what's going on, or he's in some way involved. It appeared to be a sort of ring capturing people for these terrible experiments and being corrupted by the what's the term I'm looking for here? The
ruinous powers.
The ruinous powers. And certainly, he certainly seems to have been building the castle, and that's because that was a fairly new thing. You could tell it was.
Yeah, there was stone
in progress,
that was
it?
being built out. There was a gate tower with a wooden wall around it, but there was stone being built out, and there was sign of construction.
Yeah, so they're converting it from the Mott and Bailey to a more full-on castle.
Yeah.
Jacob's not going to let Ninny out of his sight.
That is a good plan. Okay.
But will participate with them as much as possible, that being the case. But his priority is he's not going to stray from, like, he's not going to go behind a tent or something, wander off to another part that he can't see Ninny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have thought they'd have gone for venison rather than actual riding animals, because they're actually...
Maybe you can have a talk with him about that.
Well, I mean, maybe this is like sticking it to your noble friends, eating one of their horses.
Presumably also my horse and all the other stuff got left behind. So,
they did recover your sword, though. So was it your rapier or your rapier?
Yeah, rapier and mangash.
Yeah.
But the mangash I never got out, so...
Okay. All right. What about you, Jacob? So Jacob's keeping an eye on that. Anything else you guys wish to do? They're not, again, like, they're not terribly open for conversation. Ordric, I'm going to carry your... you made a command test as well, too. It wasn't a charm. Remember, it seems like you're having problems when you pop out your character sheet because you're clicking on the wrong thing. A 16 would still be, I'm assuming, a success, but make sure you're rolling on the right skill. Mo, can you see you rolled command instead of charm?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Remember, this character sheet, you seem to have problems when you pop it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to use it. Trying to use it unpopped out, so...
Okay. So you just clicked on the wrong thing, then?
Yeah, it was just... going.
Jacob's going to take a little look. Does he see any other horses by any chance?
Value, anyway.
In any direction? Nope.
No.
Okay.
No other horses among here. There are conies that are hanging from the from lines. There are people like repairing things, repairing bits of clothing and whatnot, preparing, making arrow shafts for it. So it's a little. I mean, if you were to picture a more amiable bandit camp, this is sort of what this looks like. When night falls in here, too, it gets very, very dark. I think, Jacob, where you are from, the Ardennes Forest is crouching in on every single settlement there, almost as if it's ready to just, snuff it out. So you're used to this kind of sheer blackness once the night falls. But Gariel and Ordric, I think this is probably unusual for you, just how dark things are. Not only because there's no... other forms of light, but also because with the trees crowding out so much of the sky that it just gets very, very dark here. So
too dark for night vision?
I think we looked at this before. Night vision allows you to actually see in the dark, doesn't it? Or is it low light?
This talent doesn't work in total darkness, requiring illumination equivalent to starlight.
Yeah, there's like starlight.
Yeah, so there's a little bit. You still be able to see a little bit, but I'm picturing the range of your line of sight would be quite limited. Okay. But when evening falls, you guys can... you're offered a kind of a ramshackle tent or like a lean-to as one of the places to sleep overnight. The healing lady checks on the herbs and changes them for you, Ordric. And then... unless there's anything else you guys wish to do, we will passage through to the morning.
Jacob drags his bedroll over to Ninny, and he's sleeping out there. Okay,
sounds good. And you sort of bind her leg to get her to lie down.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're sort of lying on her. That sounds good. Like, jokes aside, it seems like they're not trying to take her from you. So... when morning comes, Ordric, let's see here, she will treat you once again. Let me see here. All right, Ordric, you recover one more wound. So you'll be at 2 wounds now. And what do you guys wish to do today, if anything?
I guess they said that the Faceless guy is supposed to come back today, right?
At some point today, yeah.
Yeah. Can wait for him. I mean, watch them watch them go about their little tent village business.
Everyone's human here. There's clearly no halflings, right?
Only human, yeah. And clearly all peasants as well, too. Just judging their state of health and whatnot, and the way they talk, these are all peasants for sure.
I'll pick out someone underage. Someone that about my height, maybe.
I don't think there are any kids here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not the Erimo are rebels, right? So there is a healer here, but there's not families. This isn't like, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves kind of thing, where there's whole families that are living in the, in the thing together. What were you thinking?
Well, Jacob was just trying to find anyone that might be slightly more likely to be able to strike up a conversation. So you can
try again. I mean, the first impression. You're not stuck with that. If you want to try something, what are you thinking? What's the approach you want to?
Probably over a meal again.
Like if you got profession cook, you could. I mean, the thankless task in a camp like this is preparing the meals.
Yeah, he's already over there anyway, because as soon as anything gets brought out and it smells good, he's going to be drawn over as soon as he gives one more look at Ninny, make sure everything's clear over there, and then goes, "Oh, breakfast," and say, "Oh no, well, if I can make a suggestion, I would turn that over and put that in there first."
So let's do this. Let's have you give us a profession cook check at +20.
All right.
And see if this gives you a bonus to your charm check.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a complimentary thing. Oh. Critical failure.
Oh, no.
Now, one of the other things that happens in the morning, all of your fortune points refresh.
Oh, that's nice.
That is nice.
That's handy.
Yes.
So, would you like to spend?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to ruin their meal, right?
Right. I mean, I clearly ruined it. If it was a simple failure, I might let it go, but I think I better spend one.
Okay.
I poisoned the camp. It was terrible.
Yeah, you spit their food. It's a traditional halfling seasoning ingredient.
You thought that mushroom was a seasoned mushroom, but it's actually...
Right. Well, it's a simple failure now.
Okay, so...
One degree of failure.
All right, so all that means is that it's not going to give you any benefit, so I'm just going to have you make a charm at +20.
Okay. All right.
Because regardless of how good the food... Oh, my God! Roll 20. What are you doing to us today?
Only. So maybe I was pushy, oh, no. I would put that over here and oh, God, here comes the child. Here comes the semi-child over to tell me how to cook.
Turns out your friendliness comes as grating. It's like, like when a long-running TV series suddenly adds a, plucky kid to the mix.
Yeah.
You were received about as well.
Yeah. There's precocious and there's annoying.
Yeah.
You know what Michael Straczynski thought about that from Babylon 5? The annoying kid would be killed immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about Gareel and Orderic? What do you guys wish to do today? Gareel is hanging around camp, or are you...
I think I'm going to hang around the camp.
Yeah, it's just going to hang around, I don't... No, they said that this guy's coming, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not very talkative to us. Why antagonize them more,
Okay. What about you, Orderic?
I mean, he'll probably hang out with Odo and play let's just play for fun, and play do some card tricks or play.
Yeah. Why don't you give us a
entertained
gambling check at +20 there, Gareel?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Gambling. It's gambling. Oh no.
It's an advanced skill, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's a not advanced.
Oh, really? Okay.
Jeez, right? So that doesn't even go real well.
So what all that means is I was going to see if, by you playing the game, if
noticed or they wanted to play.
Yeah, exactly. See if it it's that old thing of if you're going to if you want people to get interested in the game, you just start playing it in a store, right? And so, Order, why were you making a gambling check?
Oh, I thought you were playing with me. Or you're just trying to...
No, he said with Odo.
I'm playing with Odo, the...
Okay. So then, otherwise they're not rude to you per se, but they're certainly not welcoming to you guys either. They are a little rude to Jacob, finally, like you guys can see, he is ushered out of the we're done here. We've got this.
But as he goes
a country palate is very different, Jacob, than what we're used to in the city.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. I'll just wait till it's done.
Okay. So it is about mid-afternoon. So maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you'd guess, just from judging from where the sun is. There was a little bit of light rain today, so the camp is a little mucky and whatnot. When there's a bit of a hubbub in the camp at one end, as you see someone coming in. And this person looks like this. Now, one of the differences is that this person is wearing, you can tell, they have mail armor under under those robes that you can say is visible at certain points. They have a shield and a big axe in there. The shield is on their back. There's a bow strung across their back as well, and there is a axe, like a battle axe, that they're carrying along. They come in and they're very warmly greeted by members of the Arimo. I'm picturing you guys seeing this sort of from maybe halfway across the camp.
Yeah.
So once they meet, they're clearly talking about something. They gesture back to you. The Faceless, you're assuming who this is, gestures over towards another tent, and then one of the guys, the one who had directed you towards the healer, he comes over to you, Gariel, and says he'll see you tonight.
Okay.
So then you see the Faceless goes off, and there are about 3 Arimo who are still following along, talking to him. You can tell from the build and whatnot, it's definitely a man, not a woman. Otherwise, the rest of the afternoon passes uneventfully. You guys have your meal, and then after dinner, you are brought before the Faceless.
Okay.
So, where you guys are brought in is into his tent, and himself, with much of his gear and whatnot kind of set to the side. The tent is not opulently adorned by any means. And then there are 2 other members of the Arimo who are with him that have, hand weapons, a sword maybe, and an axe at their side. The Faceless still has the cloak draped low over him, and where the lights are positioned, it prevents you from seeing his face. You guys are brought in. You sit down. The tent is probably about maybe 8 feet wide and about 12 feet deep. So it's not spacious, but I mean certainly, Jacob and Gariel, you find it comfortable enough to get in here. As you guys are brought in, you take your seats, I'm assuming.
Yeah. But if they want us to sit down, do they?
Yeah, he gestures.
Us to sit down? Okay.
And there's a small platter of food set before you as well, too. A little bit better than what you had at dinner. And he says, "Welcome." The voice comes to you. "Welcome to my humble lodgings. I am so sorry that you've seen the honor of Bretonia so sullied by that cur, Angeron. You seem to be..."
I just want to ask something, Kevin. Is that how that guy acted? Is that to us abnormal? How the Lord acted?
How Lord Angeron acted?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You've heard stories. You've spent all of your time. Wait, let's do this. Give us a common knowledge, Bretonia. I think you're just going to be flat. If Gariel asked this probably would have happened throughout the other ones, the one of the days. But Orderic and Jacob, you can both make common knowledge Bretonia at plus 20. And the only reason I'm not giving you that benefit, Gariel, is because you spent all your time in the...
I don't...
Yeah.
All of us then. We'll just...
Yeah, so Jacob can tell you, yeah, like the lords of Bretonia, they can do whatever they want with their people. Mm-hmm. You know, the Arimo are a not unexpected development, and not for nothing, like they're part of the reason, because you've been so familiar with Langille. Remember that it's that one merchant group that seems to run that town, and there's an increasing agitation for it to declare independence from Bretonia, because like the nobles are fucking idiots as far as they're concerned.
Yeah,
they're just parasites taking money for no reason. So Jacob, how would you phrase it to Garil when he asks, like, is this normal? Is this how all the lords act?
There's maybe not every single one, but all too common. Certainly not shocking. That's what Jacob says.
So does that make sense to you? Does that answer your question, Gabriel?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to know how we approach this or treat this. Is it?
Yeah. So
it's extremely rude, sure, but this is what this guy is.
So he says that once you guys, it says they welcome you to his lodgings. I understand.
guess, Kevin, let me ask for one for the so now Odoric, since Odoric was clearly clothed in nobility. I guess certainly the Lord may be going off on the peasants, but what about his quick action on someone clothed as a noble?
That's a good question. So the nobles themselves, we were talking about this last time a little bit, but remember that they're like really the only rule that nobles can't break is disloyalty to the crown. And if they break their own lord's rules, then that's a problem. But the type of noble that say Lord Angeron is, he gets his station from the king. So really, like, he's going to be paying something to the king. As long as he doesn't break the king's rules, nobles can fight amongst themselves as much as they want. From Orderic's home in, I think it's Aquitaine, maybe? Nobles, like, that's the centuries and centuries and centuries of history for them. Yeah, in Aquitaine. It's just nobles fighting amongst each other. They can justify a way of nursing a grudge against someone, like what they did by saying, "Nah, you're a bandit." Then that's sufficient.
So it's kind of survival of the fittest. I mean, if Odoric can get revenge, he can get revenge, but if not, not.
Yep. It may not get recognized. Like the difference between the idealized version of like chivalry or like, the Code of Bushido or something like that, and the reality is that, it's got, there is technically laws, but I mean, like, it's very much like literally like the Wild West was, where, there's laws in theory in place because it's part of a country, but like good luck enforcing it or having someone who's going to fairly enforce it. Power and in some cases money speaks in Bretonia. So and what the experience you've had with that role that you made before tells you is that the rules and the laws are more often used as justification for cruelty than they are for the administration of justice. It's part of the reason why the knights errants are so popular. And even them, like the vast majority of knight errants are incompetent, noble thugs who are wandering around, bullying themselves, and the only reason they may be kept in check is when a powerful lord is like, will react to the knights errant. Yeah. Does that give you a context for how shit is here? Yeah.
Yep.
So then...
So then clearly the only other category I was going to ask about was, there's the peasants, there's the nobility, and then there's the people in between, like, Jacob. But that answers that question.
Yeah, and in Bretonia, there are no people in between. You're either nobility or you're peasant.
You're not.
And that's where, like, the reason that the merchants, remember we were talking last time about how the merchants, they do this sort of, they've got this middle ground now where merchants will, like, they'll give someone a gift and then they will buy that gift back from the noble, and that's the source of income for like for Odoric's family. That's the source of their family's income, is like at the blessings of a merchant.
Yep. And
technically by the law, they should be able to crush them or whatever. They should be able to have authority over them, but realistically they don't have the money for it, and they depend on their mercantile activity. They would resent them and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, because the nobles can't, they're forbidden from using firearms and strongly oppose the use of ranged weapons. People like Garil's family, who want to come in and sell firearms to the mercenary groups that support these merchant guilds and whatnot, in years future, there may be a pretty substantial shift because the power will be resting in the hands. And that's what part of the reason why Langille is sort of agitating for becoming an independent city. Like there's that one in the Empire that's like that as well. That I can't remember what.
Marienburg, yeah.
Marienburg, yeah. That Langille is sort of contemplating going in that direction, and if the nobility is not able to, right now that it's holding because they've got justification, and they would be able to call up it's not called a crusade, it's a errantry war. They would probably be able to call an errantry war against everyone in Langille to crush that, because if you don't want merchants getting in their mind that they can just usurp the power of the nobility. But that's not that crisis point hasn't hit just yet. So does that give you guys a context sort of where we are socioeconomically, whatever, politically right now? Okay. So and honestly, like, as an aside, this is part of the reason why I think Bretonnia is such a fucking cool place to set a game like this, because like there's tons of interesting
hierarchy stuff,
tensions, going on. So with what I'd like you guys to do as well is, would you give us a, what is it? What's the word? I think it's insight.
Yeah, I wanted to see, because he's obviously speaking not like the others. Can I actually work out which social class he's from?
He is definitely not a peasant. And his accent, he's not hiding it. His accent is Bretonian.
Interesting.
So he gestures and says, please, my Erimo are generous to a fault, and treat me above what I should enjoy. And he gestures, please. And he's talking seemingly to you directly, Orderic. I understand that you stood against Lord Angeron's cruelty to these people. What brings you here?
Well, several things. We have... what was the city we were first in? Sorry.
Langille.
We were on Langille, and there was a flood, and several mutants were discovered floating in the aftermath. We traced them back to a small cottage, and we found several peasants from Serac there, and they were not the first. There appears to have been an organised ring of smuggling people into Langille for the ruinous powers to use in their filthy rites. We found an altar with, obviously, where some people had been sacrificed. And of course, Odo and his friends we were escorting back, as we felt we should work out what's happening and why there seem to be so many people from Serac abducted and then used, whether there was a cult.
And these people were taken from Serac?
Yes, I believe Odoric knew some of the people that unfortunately didn't make it. We're not quite sure of the total number, but when we asked the Lord, he implied they'd ran away and were going to hang them all. Whereas really a Lord should be concerned about where his peasants, workers, are going, and to immediately dismiss them as runaways when we had evidence of the ruinous powers doing terrible things to them seems highly unusual. And certainly his attitude when we suggested that there seemed to be something going on was very defensive, and in fact trying to effectively hang us all on the spot is certainly not the normal reaction I would expect from a lord. I mean, I know some can be very hard on their peasants, but ignoring the possible presence of the ruinous powers and a cult is a very serious offence, and I'm sure the king and the other lords would not be too keen on one of their own harbouring such things.
What?
He also seems to be spending rather a lot of money on his castle, which seems unusual.
We're aware of what his cruelty is building here. What evidence do you have? What have you found that proves Engeron is behind these abductions? Those are serious accusations. What you would know as well, like that, we talked about this last time, but this is trucking with the ruinous powers. That counts as treason against the crown. That's the kind of thing that can get open season for anyone who wants to, take up arms against a noble and prove themselves to the king.
Well, we had plenty of evidence we'd seen for ourselves in Langerak, and just dismissing my word.
What points to the Lord, to Engeron?
The fact that all the peasants being sacrificed were from Langerak.
How does that point to him? Do you? And he turns to Jacob and Garil. Do you have evidence of this that points to him directly?
Well, there was the evidence of the mugs. There appeared to be a linking the route.
Well, truth be told, it's circumstantial at best, Odric, my friend.
And you think a noble would be collecting?
I don't think so. I'm collecting, but yeah. I do not truck with the ruinous powers. I'm a dwarf. You humans are the ones who do that kind of crap. But he does say.
Go ahead, Carl.
He's going to say something. No, he says, I just find it odd that we explained that we brought back peasants to this place that were kidnapped, and he was very dismissive of it. Not hearing the evidence. That's the extent of any evidence. But he could just be an asshole.
Indeed, I agree with Garil that he seemed to almost protest too little, even for a dismissive lord, not caring. You wonder if he already knew, but no evidence.
One of the Arimo gets up and sort of leans in and approaches kind of in a deferential way, waits until the Faceless looks over, and then he gestures. The man comes over, whispers something, and the Faceless then turns back to you and says, it seems that some of my men, there is a barrow, an old barrow from the times before the kingdom. A few hours' walk to the east. It seems that some of my men who have been hunting game believe they have seen mutants and beastmen in the area, though they have no proof of this. And he sort of look at them as if like it's something that he has dismissed from them before. The story, children are scared to go, into compliance by telling them of the beastmen that lurk in the woods. Yeah. It's just, but Jacob, you would know that there is definitely truth to that in many of the woods of the of Bretonia. So, if you say that these things brought these people from Serac, to Langille for some purpose, there may be a cult here. It's not unknown for them to hide in the woods.
Yes, this is true.
Angeron is a tyrant and needs redressing, but a cult is a threat to all. And perhaps we should address that threat first, if it exists.
Well, it's well worth looking at. And if there's a connection, well, the proof would be there.
And if word has returned, or word has reached them, that their plot, if they are here and taking people from Serac, they may have eyes on Serac. And if those have been freed from the cult have returned, they may not stay long.
Right.
Let me just get, I think,
well,
yeah, okay. Then
it did not seem that the other people of the little town were unhappy to see the return of our friends. That point to Odo and them, or so.
Let's see.
I don't know, unless, although I do say it was very quick. Perhaps there is something we do not see or understand. It was very quick for the Lord to come down and deal with us as if he had foreknowledge, right?
I agree.
So it was surprisingly quick.
His cruelty is consistent with his past behavior, but his knowledge of this is curious. Now, let's just let Arlen get into the chat here, and then you guys are going to hear some commotion from outside.
Uh-oh.
Jacob jumps up, worried it's Ninny.
Okay, so you guys hear some commotion from outside, and then they all look at each other, and then the two Erimo stand up and go out. And what you find, one second here, I'm not seeing Arlen in. Oh, I see him now. There we go. All right. What you guys are going out, and what you can see, Roland, you're standing in the dark in the middle of this camp. You have been captured by Erimo, by roadside, as far as you're concerned, well, depending on how you view it, either roadside bandits who are revolting peasants, or freedom fighters against an unjust nobility. Garil, Odric, and Jacob, you walk out, and surprisingly, lit by the campfire at the center, you recognize your cousin's face. And one of the Erimo says, "We found him lurking around the Serac. He says he knows someone. He says he knows," and he points at Orderic, "that one." Roland, you arrived in Langille looking for your cousin, to only find that at the Shattered Compass Tavern where he had been staying, he left word that he had left for a town outside called Serac. And I'm guessing that given the opportunity to ride forth as on a task of errantry to find your cousin, he was escorting some kind of peasants back to their town. And then as you were approaching, you were set upon by 10 men. And they demanded your surrender. And while the code of chivalry may suggest that you should, fight to the last, when they mentioned your cousin's name, or that there was a what do you call it? A noble who was among them, and you heard what he looked like, You agree to accompany them. So Ordric, Garil, and Jacob, you come out, and you've been traveling for hours through darkness, Roland. They've been leading your horse along. You've been relieved of your hand weapon, but still dressed in your armor. And you can see standing Ordric and a halfling that you've met before, Jacob, and a dwarf have just come out of a tent, accompanied by a man who looks like this, and two more Eremo standing in kind of guard to them.
Jacob rocks back on his heels with his hand to his forehead, with great relief, not seeing Ninny's body in the cooking area. And listens, Roland, with relief laughter rolling down Jacob's out of his mouth, and runs over to Roland.
Hey, Jacob, my favorite halfling, and cousin Orderic. Hey, hi. Maybe you could talk to these guys, and I'm really not here to do any nastiness. I'm just trying to follow you.
Well, they might say that they might think that you're a mercenary for the local lord.
They might, but I'm sure you guys can talk to them, clear this all up.
Yes, Roland would have the characteristic torn cloak. You would be wearing the colors of nobility, but the torn cloak of an adventuring knight errant. One thing we were talking about, though, is that the vast majority of knights errant are stupid and unskilled noble thugs.
Yep.
So, Roland, why don't we do this? Why don't you give us a charm check at +20, please?
All right.
See how well you have presented to these guys thus far.
Charm is a skill. Let me find it. Charm. I'm not good at this.
But +20.
+20. Let's see.
I'm not good at this is the song of the session.
Yep.
So, it's caught in everyone's ear.
I know, we're rolling high.
Only 1 degree of failure is kind of a success.
We're rolling high, except when we're not supposed to roll low.
Right.
And then we roll, and then we roll low.
Ordric has already spent one of his fate points to avoid dying today. So, would you kindly? First off, so this is near the end of the day. You have 4 fortune points right now. You want to spend a fortune point and re-roll that?
Sure. Why not?
Your 4 fortune points will track to your character sheet on the blue bar.
All right. I did not get a success on my second roll.
So they have not been keen with you. Their impression is that they're assuming that you're going to be a thug, and they're assuming, or that you are just a better dressed bandit, as many knight errants are. Knights errant? It's like attorneys general.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you say, Ordric? They seem to have. They're treating Roland as if he's a prisoner. So Ordric?
Well, I can vouch for him. He's my cousin. You can probably tell because we do have the same or a related coat of arms.
What coat of arms? You're wearing a peasant shirt.
Well, beyond the cloak, then.
Well, remember, yes, your clothes were ruined because of your injury.
Yeah. Well, I will vouch for him. If the Lord was trying to kill me, then he'll certainly be trying to kill Roland. So,
Lord's trying to kill you, buddy?
Yeah, he was. When we questioned him about the mysterious things, he immediately decided all the returning peasants and ourselves should be hung.
Yep.
Man, you guys have been getting into trouble, huh?
He was quite rude.
I know, terrible.
I know. Good thing I'm here. If you could just, guys, I'm sure, this is Orderic, my cousin, and I know Jacob, and I don't know the dwarf really well, but I'm sure he's a good dude too. And so if you're all friends, we're all friends. So
you're Roland's with us.
A surfer knight.
Yeah.
Well, he is like a 19-year-old who is basically sent off into the world on his own, right? So,
yeah.
So why don't you guys, let's do this. Let's have you guys sit around with the Faceless, and you bring Roland up to speed on what has happened. And you guys can do a very quick summary. You don't need to do this in character if you don't want to. It might be faster if we just go through. So why don't you bring Roland up to speed as to what has happened, and you can tell us how Roland reacts to what's happened thus far.
we went into the village with the Odo and the other captives.
So I think Arlen was not here for the initial session.
I have watched some of the sessions.
Oh, okay. So what do you know? So
vaguely sort of what happened, but if you guys want to, Roland certainly hasn't heard anything about what happened other than you guys were left and he was following you. So
we found we came across mutants as part of the flood in Lengiel. And that led us tracking them to a house that in the basement were these peasants that were captive in this room in the basement, and the basement also held a altar to the ruinous powers. So we freed them, and then found out they were part of the town of Serac and had been captured and herded. We agreed to take them back while investigating this mutant situation, because we found a chest full of tavern goblets in that basement as well, with various monograms of taverns. So one of them was in Serac. So we arrived back at their town of Serac, and were immediately besieged by the Lord and 6 men of war with halberds and armored. Some type of armor, and he just immediately, and Orderic tried to, announce and explain, and then even at the Lord's hostility, challenged the Lord to a duel, and the Lord just said, hang them all, and all of a sudden combat just ensued, and it was done. Things were looking terrible. Orderic was down, Garil was injured, Jacob was riding away on Ninny, and then these men came and counter ambushed the Lord, and the Lord went running back into his castle with his men, and we joined them and arrived here kind of like you did yesterday.
Yep.
And they were just discussing. Go ahead.
Your cousin was cut down, and we had to carry him away. So he could look at his arm.
Ordric's also not wearing. He's clearly wearing peasant clothes. As well too, at this point.
You can get in trouble for that, buddy.
So
presumably he's wearing a shirt. His trousers are still.
Yeah, it's sort of one of those things that like the nobles don't have to use it. Like, you're not going to get fined. You might get in trouble from a king or something, but it's not like a peasant couldn't enforce, like, you shouldn't be using our stuff. It's more like, this is the stuff, the sumptuary laws that only nobles can use, but nobles can choose to use whatever the fuck they want. They just very rarely, like, they talk about how nobles will still have earthen floors in spite of the fact that, like, wooden floors are more comfortable because earthen floors are,
yeah. No, I'm just ribbing him because he was the older cousin at training is what we established.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad to see all of you. Even Garrel, I don't think we met, but hi. And okay, sounds like these guys, they were, not horrible to me, I guess. They took my sword, so maybe we could get that back. But otherwise, what's the plan? How do we deal with all this bad shit?
So the Faceless turns to you and says, "You, Sir Knight, what brings you here then?"
Oh, well, I was coming after Orderic. I was supposed to meet him in Longiel, and then
for what purpose? I see you.
It's complicated. It turns out knight errantry is harder than I thought, and I heard that he was, in town, making his name, making his fortune, and all that sort of stuff. So, basically, to get help, we sort of go way back. We kind of trained together to some degree. So, it would be nice to see a friendly face and not try to sleep on the road and all that sort of stuff.
And the Faceless leans forward, and you, Sir Knight, do you honor the code of chivalry?
As much as I can, when it doesn't lead to my death. That's sort of the general.
When it doesn't lead to your death.
Yeah, because I got big plans, so sometimes I need to.
So you would put your own life over the obligations of chivalry?
Depends on the particular obligation. If it was for the lady, then that's okay. But if it's for, like, my dad, less interested.
He leans in. You are a poor knight, sir.
Yep, I'm finding that out every day.
He does not seem pleased, and the way he talks to you, or the accent and whatnot, is like the disapproving other, like, people who are actually parts of, if you've met knights who are members of the order, he seems has that same tone.
Yep.
But he's opposed to who you're opposed to, says Jacob.
He is. But he is young.
He is young.
He is Angerol in waiting. He, your cousin, represents the genesis of the corruption and cruelty that beset those like Angerol. Perhaps it's best we hang him now, before that corrupt fruit blooms.
I think your enemies of your enemies are your friends, says Jacob, remembering hearing that somewhere among the bigs.
Yeah.
If I can speak a word in my own defense, can I suggest that if one of the elements of the code of chivalry is not just to go out and fight battles, but to defend the meek, to help the helpless. And one of the elements of helplessness is not just physical strength, but also knowledge. If you believe that what I require is knowledge and support, it seems that the code of chivalry would suggest that you could help me to become a better person so that I could do all those chivalric things too, right?
Why don't you give us a charm check at plus 30? That is definitely playing to what the Faceless seems to value.
All right. I will do my best.
Nice. So...
Oh, cool.
He you see his shoulders go up and down. He's wearing mail, incidentally, as well, too, Arlen. Like, he's dressed like a capable warrior.
Yep.
Leans on the battle axe that he has in front of him and says, "You are young, and you are right that some require... There are few who are born into a true state of chivalry and able to meet the obligations required of our and he says our and then corrects himself, of your station. Your obligation is to the meek. It is why we occupy the place we do. Your interests are those," and he's pointing at you directly, Roland, "are those who are weaker. This is the place you occupy. You are their shield. And when necessary, their sword. The path you are on will lead to the abusive place that Engeron occupies, taking through cruelty and unnecessary pain what these people have. Or you can serve as an example of why we have our vaulted positions."
Roland is basically, he's doing his best to make eye contact and mostly staring at his boots. He's clearly pretty shamed by this character, right? Because he wants to live up to the whole ideal of knighthood very, very much, and is sort of trying to compromise that with the difficult world and deciding
absolutely
that,
and it is, and everyone, like, the nobles, these other nobles will treat you like a bandit. Other peasants will treat you like they're terrified of you because of your the ability for you to. The only reason that that peasants are safe from marauding knights errant is when their noble is able to protect them. So it is absolutely makes sense that your character would be struggling with that, and the passage along and the other knights errant that you meet along the way. They're much closer to like Old West bandits than they are the shining examples that are in the tales that you've read and whatnot. This faceless person though seems to be aware. Now I'd like Jacob and Gareel to kindly give us and Orderic give us intelligence checks, please.
Okay, straight intelligence.
Just flat intelligence, yeah. Just flat intelligence. No modifier.
Hey.
Nice. So Gareel, now having heard his voice in that commanding way, like he was more, the Faceless was more conversational with you beforehand. It suddenly clicks in you. You know, you've heard this voice before.
Oh.
The voice that was commanding you to move the cart. Remember back in Langille, there was that voice that came from the balcony.
Yeah.
That commanded you to move that thing before it, whatever. It's that voice. And do you remember seeing that knight who was among the peasantry helping them while the flooding was going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Beneath the robes concealing this person, you can see one or two bits of armor that are identical to what he was wearing. So the Faceless seems to have been in Langille for some purpose.
Oh, interesting.
Then what the Faceless, so you can, I've got this amongst yourself right now. So what, I guess the only other thing, and forgive me if I missed this repeating, what the Faceless said is that some of his Erimo, a couple hours to the east, there is an ancient barrow mound that dates back to the time before the founding of Bretonnia, so more than 1,300 years ago. There were rival, like, horse lords kind of things that were occupying this in that wild time, and they have barrows that are, this is before the faith of the lady came, the Lady of the Grail, and they are, there are all sorts of forgotten mounds and whatnot. This is one of those things from that forgotten time. But some of his people claim to have seen mutants and beastmen among the woods in there. There's no evidence. He says there's no evidence of it, nothing of proof. And again, like, it's tales you use to scare children. But he says that they're there, and if there is a cult of chaos, a group devoted to the ruinous powers that are taking people from here, this is something that we should all march against. If you truly wish to prove yourself, Roland, Sir Roland, then, and live up to your name, this is a purpose where you this would be a place where you can bring both your shield and sword to bear and carve this corruption from these lands.
All right. What do you say, guys? Shall we go deal with some chaos stuff?
Well, I certainly think it's a good idea. Maybe when I'm a couple of days when I'm feeling better.
Jacob nods, mouthful of fake venison.
The what the Faceless says, I sympathize with your wounds, sir, but if they have eyes in Serac and they know that you have freed some captives, the ruinous powers will not wait. If you are not fit to fight,
likely,
keep yourself back. We will take the brunt. He looks and nods at Roland. And there's a bit of a hubbub outside once again. And you guys are thinking, like, what, another? And another person kind of comes in, and Erimo bursts into the tent and says, "They're coming. And the Faceless stands up and says, "What do you mean?" And what this man describes is that there is apparently Sir Angeron is leading every single one of his troops on a sweep of the forest.
Huh.
And they are coming on this, the scouts that the Arimo have out say that they are coming directly in the night, which is unusual for this camp. So the Faceless stands and thinks for a moment, and then turns to you, Roland, and says, "Will you prove yourself?"
Yeah, I'm ready.
We know these woods better than Lord Angeron and his men can. We can lead them off. We can lead them and then lose them.
All right.
But the ruinous powers will not wait. He looks at you, Orderic. You clearly, too, have survived your wound. You've clearly either drawn the fortune of fate, or you are made of sterner things than it would appear. We can give direction to the barrow, but you, and he's looking at you, Roland, you deal with the barrow. Cut out the corruption, and we will ensure that Lord Angeron does not find our camp or you.
All right. Sounds like there's no time to waste.
Right.
Orderic, you gonna be all right? We'll make sure you don't, take the brunt of it again, I guess. Sounds like you got, in the thick of it last time.
He looks around and says, give him a baldric. So they're going to give you like leather armor, Orderic, so you've got something that will protect him.
Nice.
But other than that, guys, we are already at the end of the session. So with you guys grabbing your gear, with the entire encampment taking up arms to go and try and drive off or trick Angeron's troops away from the encampment, we will bring the session to a close.
Okay.
Each of you guys gets an advancement. So you can get another advancement for your character. For those listening at home, as is always the case, thank you so much for joining us for Session 3 of our Fears of the Faceless campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active. Let's see here. We have channels dedicated to this campaign, this game, and every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great channels, including a Find a Group channel, and a bunch of other a bunch of other topics, like setting up virtual tabletops, so selecting between them. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That's the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really terrific organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. To date this year, we've already raised over $5,000 to benefit the kids who are supported by SOS Children's Villages International. And from now until December 1st, for every $25 that you donate, you'll get one chance to win one of the prizes for our next charity raffle, which will be held on December 1st, 2021. The prizes from last year from our last raffle included a whole bunch of great stuff, like box sets from our friends at Beetle and Grimm that they have very generously donated, donations from Mongoose Publishing, donations from our friends at the Noble Knight Games. As well, and from now until until September 10th, if you purchase anything from Noble Knight Games, you can use the discount code NobleMuser to get a 10% discount on our saving on any of your purchases over $10. You can find a link to Noble Knight down below. Noble Knight has been my go-to source for filling out a lot of my collection for out-of-print games. And then if they don't have what you're looking for, you can also wish list what you're looking for. And it's not always cheap, but it definitely it shows up fairly quickly. They do a great job of cycling through new games and whatnot. So if you are looking for out-of-print stuff like, say, Warhammer Fantasy 2nd Edition, they can be a terrific source for tracking down some of the out-of-print stuff. And with a Noble User discount, you can save 10% on your purchase. Last thing I will say, speaking of great people, is a huge thank you to our players. So, Sean, Mo, Carl, and Arlen, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I am really enjoying running this game, and I'm very sorry for nearly killing you, Mo. But we do appreciate you showing us how the critical rules and the fate rules work. So
there you go.
There you go. So for those listening at home, until we see you again, we hope that we've given you a few hours, take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes are getting up to in the wilds of Bretonia. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.